Hello, today we're going to look at the scale and chords. Let's start with a simple C major scale. There is C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and repeating C at the top. There is our scale. Now, how do we turn the scale into chords? First of all, let's just number these notes of the scale. This one is number 1. Then we have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How do we make this scale into chords? Well, it's quite simple. We look at our first note, the C, and we miss the next note and go to the third note along. And then, starting from that note, we again skip the next note and go to the third above that. And then we stack these notes on top of each other to make a chord. So down here we have the first note, C. We miss one, and then we add the note E above the C at the same time. We miss one, go to G and add that note above the C, and now we have a chord. This is going to be chord 1 because it's based on the very first note of the scale, the first scale degree as they're called. We can do the same thing all the way up. So here is D. Let's move those brackets so we can see what the other notes will be. Well, if we move these brackets along, 1, we can see we are going to use D on the bottom, and then F on top of that, and then A, number 6 on top of that. Again, we can move these brackets along to work out the next chord. We'll start this time with E on the bottom, and then the G and the B, moving the pattern along yet another space, this time starting on F. We put F on the bottom, followed by the third of the chord, which is A, and then the fifth of the chord, which will be C, and we keep doing this process. G, B, D, whoops, that's better, A, C, E, B, D, F, before we come right back to our first note again, which is C. Please note, it doesn't matter what octave these notes are in, they are still the same chords. Now let's label these chords. This time we're going to use Roman numerals, and there's a reason for that. If it's a major chord, like this first chord is, we'll use a capital Roman numeral. If it's a minor chord, like this second chord is, D minor, we'll use small numerals. The third chord is E minor, small numerals. Then we have chord 4, which is F, and it's a major chord, so we use major numerals. Chord 5 is major, chord 6 is minor, chord 7 is neither major nor minor, it's actually diminished. So I'm just going to put a little asterisk there to remind us, don't use this chord, it's just going to confuse you. And we come back to chord 1. So far it sounds pretty uninspiring, but these are the building blocks of our melody and our chords. Melodies use these notes, but not necessarily in this order. Chords also use these notes, but not necessarily in this order. Usually we start and end on chord 1, but after that anything goes. You can use any of these chords in any sequence and in any combination. The rate at which the chords change is the harmonic rhythm. For example, chord 1 might last for 4 beats, chord 2 might last for 2 beats. We might jump to chord 5 for 2 beats, and then chord 1 again for 4 beats. That would be the harmonic progression and the harmonic rhythm. Over that chord progression, we rearrange the notes of the scale to make some kind of melody.